Hey guys, it's Dylan back here again with another production breakdown. This time we're looking at our track You. This was the first single that we put out last year as part of the Crazy How We Live Like This collection, and that full EP will be coming out on the 10th of February. We announced it over on Instagram the other day. But this track was a bit of a strange one when we released it, because it was a lot different to everything that we'd put out beforehand. But a lot of the production techniques in this informed what kind of went on to be the rest of Crazy How We Live Like This. This was the first one that I fully produced out of that project, and it gave me a lot of tips and tricks that I still use to this day. Even my friend Emmett, who I used to play in Monday Villains with, he came in and he helped me give the song a new life. I was really stuck in it for a while, and he really helped me see it through. But I suppose I'll just jump into it. So what makes up the bass layer of this track, the first thing that I put in was this wind ambience. I knew I wanted to have some sort of ambience to kind of just be a bed underneath the acoustic guitar, which is what I wrote the song on. So it sounds like this. I'll turn it up for you. But yeah, it's just regular ambience that I found on Splice, but I wanted to give it some movement. So in the choruses, I automate this auto pan with the phase that's 360, so it's kind of acting like a tremolo, and I set the rate to 16th notes, so it starts to give it like a tremolo feel, kind of like nearly an arpeggiated staccato feel. That's what it sounds like, kind of like that. Turn it up. And also what you're hearing there as it fades away is this grain delay, and I've also automated that up in the choruses just to give it. I use this in the Everything Will Be Okay breakdown as well. It's a delay that sends the octave, or sends the delayed signal up an octave, and obviously delays it, and it really adds some nice width, and then just some volume automation again just to give it some movement on this EQ, and just taking out the lows and attenuating the highs a small bit. It might have been a bit harsh to my ears, but yeah, that's what that sounds like. So the next thing I brought in is this drop D section. And this is actually the section that Emmett helped me make. So before he came in, it was kind of just an acoustic guitar, and it felt a bit dull and a bit lifeless, and I didn't really know where to go with it. And he suggested layering these guitars, which is something that he does regularly, all together. So the first one he put down is this melody here, which is panned to the left, and then this one here, which is panned to the right, and they're playing together. And then there's a counter melody, and then there's a picking drone, and all together, all four of those sound like this. So yeah, even though they're four individual parts, they kind of all come together to work as one. And something I added then in this section is this drone, which is another Paul Stretch drone. If you watch the Everything Will Be Okay breakdown, I talked about Paul Stretch, which is this software that allows you to take an audio file and stretch it out and create it into a longer piece of audio, I suppose, and you can make really nice drones out of it. I brought it up here before. So actually this is it here. So you have a stretch amount here, which you can change to whatever, and it allows you to stretch the sample by however many times you want to do it. This FFT size here, as far as I know, is kind of like adding fades in between the stretch points. So if you didn't add in any fades, there'd be strange artifacts and stuff like that, and the FFT, as far as I can remember, smooths that out. Then there's like a pitch section where you can change the pitch overall, add octaves above and below. There's adding some noise, some harmonics, and then a filter and a compressor. But yeah, no, it's a really cool plugin, and I'd really advise people checking it out. It's hard to find. I found it on like a Reddit thread or something like that. But if you can find it, it's a really good plugin. What else in this group? So there's also this string sample, which sounds like this. and this I actually saw on a Disclosure stream. So it'd be a big thing in UK garage or disco music to have a single sustained string note run the whole way through, like a chorus or a section or something like that. In this case, it's running through the chorus, and it kind of just adds a bit more lift and it adds width when this section comes in. So I'll play the string again, and I'll bring in the other bits around it. So my drone, it's picking drone, the counter melody Emmett recorded, and the two top melodies. And then with the ambience. Yeah, so then what's on the group of this? Everything that's kind of on here is just like a guitar plug-in chain that Emmett uses, which is a compressor, saturator, and a reverb. It sounds really good though. All those guitars were recorded straight in with a DI, not through an amp. And that plug-in chain there sounds really good on those. The drone, yeah, similar plug-in chain, just some EQ added there. And the string, just bringing out the highs and a small bit, what's that? Oh yeah, Valhalla Supermassive, that's just a reverb delay. Yeah, and then on the master, just got some RC20, which is just adding some color, another bit of reverb, and then just some EQ taking out the lows and a couple of other frequencies there, and then just taking out some highs. So, and then adding in some super high highs, and that's just in the choruses, I think. Let me just check. Yeah, so in the choruses, I'm just adding some like air frequencies, so like ultra high frequencies, again, just to give it an extra lift when it gets to that section. So the next thing that comes in is this bass. Now, if you're listening on a phone, or if you don't have speakers or headphones, you probably won't hear this that well, but it's just a sub bass, simple Moog emulation that I had here. It's flattened now, but it would have been a Moog emulation. And it sounds like this. I'll turn it up. But yeah, again, like it's just adding, it's very, very subtle in the mix. It's just adding an extra layer of depth to the song when it gets to the chorus, just to keep it interesting. But yeah, now the next element is, let's close these down. Next element is these acoustics. And these are actually just one acoustic. So I recorded with a mic, which was my AT4030, and then a DI signal as well. So yeah, altogether, that's what it sounds like. And it's mostly the mic signal, which sounds like, yeah, it's mostly the mic. There's a small bit of the DI signal, which doesn't sound too great on its own, but in this instance, okay. But yeah, so on that, there is just some EQ on the master, just taking out some lows again and some high frequencies up here. I think I took those out in this as well. Yeah, so there's definitely some like higher frequencies there that were bothering me. Maybe like too much of the string sound or something like that I didn't want in. Again, just taking out some kind of lows, adding in back in the lows here and some compression. But yeah, I wanted like a really warm acoustic tone on this, and I think I achieved it. I'm really happy with how the acoustic sounds here. I'll pop it in with everything else. But yeah, the next thing is this weird stuff. I have it labeled as, but it's basically just two. It's I think it's the same sound from Labs, which is the Spitfire Audio free plugin, and they have loads of free downloadable patches online and in their application and stuff. But this is a whale sound one, I think, and it sounds like this. And there is, I'd say there was reverb on that, but I have it flattened now. This is the second one. But yeah, so the first one is like just that more kind of staccato feel whale noise thing, and it has grain delay on it, just giving it some width and just some volume automation there. And then this one's a bit more interesting. This is a sustained whale note. Just taking out some lows again, adding some grain delay. But here is the interesting part. I've taken the Valhalla frequency echo and I've automated the delay time. So I've taken automating like the milliseconds of the delay time, and it creates the whoa. I'll play it for you again. And I've also automated the shift, the frequency shift. So if you've used Valhalla frequency echo before, it allows you the option to change the pitch of the delayed signal. So like you might hear a noise and then the delay gets further and further away from the original pitch. So I'm also automating that, and that's how you get that kind of strange swirling noise. Again here, doing that created a load of weird frequencies, so I wanted to pull them out. And then resonator is just adding in some more favorable frequencies, and then just some Valhalla shimmer. And you know how much I like Valhalla shimmer, because I use it all over, everything will be okay. And again, this noise is like panning from left to right as it goes along. But yeah, so that mixed in with everything else sounds like this. It's very subtle in the mix, but I really like it. But yeah, then the next thing before the vocals is these horns, and they're done with labs as well. I'll show you. Go in. Yeah, so exit off. But yeah, so these are the horns. But it's just one of the free patches in Spitfire Audio, and I just have a low and a high one going on, and they sound like this. Oh, on their own, please. And then what's going on here? A bit of compression, a small bit of EQ, bringing out the mids, and some chorus, and then some, what's that? Delay. Okay, so that's Echo Boy, and then is there any reverb? Yeah, so there's reverb then being automated on the send, yeah, which is Valhalla Room. So then mixed in, they sound like this. 2 seconds. But yeah, so the final thing then is the vocals. I suppose I'll show you the main vocal first. So basically what I have done here is I have a main vocal, and then there's 2 main duplicates which are panned kind of mid, left and right. And then here are some harmonies and backing vocals on just certain words. And then again, there's a lower duplicate that comes in towards the end. And at the very end, then there's 4 duplicates altogether. So yeah, this is what the main vocal sounds like on its own.
Each time you call my name, the fear it seems to fly higher when I rearrange all thoughts I left behind.
But yeah, so on that again, bringing out some 1K just to really make that voice feel forward, and then bringing out some 4 and 5K. Yeah, so that's kind of just to bring out the pronunciation of the words. And then soothe is, yeah, taking out some of that top end. I don't know if you can hear it there. There's a couple of the S's that are kind of sharp. So soothe is taking out some of that top end, and then a bit of compression, and the air is kind of adding in some ultra high frequencies again. So then what reverb? Oh yeah, and the reverb on that and the delay is the Valhalla Room and the Echo Boy from that are on the Sens. The duplicates then sound like this.
Each time you call my name, the fear it seems to fly.
Which there on their own sound kind of weird, but they fill out the main vocal nicely. So this is both of them together.
Each time you call my name, the fear it seems to fly higher when I realize.
It's almost like another low vocal kind of sitting under, and that's done with Little Altar Boy. So it's the pitch down a whole octave and then the formant down a good bit as well, and it's about 40% of the way up. Then you've got these, which as I said already are just on certain words.
Coming from you, a star among the skies. Only you.
And on them, it's on them. Yeah, just some Little Altar Boy on two of them and not on the other ones. Play them on their own for a sec.
Coming from you.
Again, they sound kind of weird on their own, but yeah, when mixed in, they sound really good, in my opinion. I hope other people think that too. But yeah, then the last vocal to come in is this low vocal, which comes in the second chorus and the outro. So all these vocals together sound like this.
You were there for me and you told me that you'd be always by my side.
So it's an even lower one, and it's just coming in. And even in the mix, I'll play them all together now in the mix. It's not that noticeable.
You were there for me and you told me that you'd be always by my side and to care for me in a moment.
But yeah, that's kind of everything really, I suppose. I wanted to try and keep this track simple, and like I knew it was going to be fairly stripped back. I only wanted to add a couple of layers, but I feel the layers that we did add are subtle and they're interesting, and they keep the track moving, and I'm really happy with that because that's how I wanted it to be. But yeah, I suppose I will walk you through. I'll play from here and start from the very bottom and bring stuff in as I go along. So we got the ambience. Turn this up. Got the ambience, drop D stuff, and then the bass that comes in, and then the acoustic, and the weird stuff which is back there, the horns, and then finally the vocals.
My mind, and if you still tend to hold on, oh, the fear isn't none at all. And if you take things for granted, that's when you lose it all. Only you, only you, only you, only you.
Sorry, I thought I just soloed those vocals there at the very end. But yeah, that's you. It was a really fun track to make, and it definitely, as I said, gave me a lot of techniques that I used in other tracks. You can definitely see stuff I used in that came into Everything Will Be Okay, and other projects that we'll see down the line. I'm gonna do one of these breakdowns for every track that we've released so far, and then there'll be 2 more tracks that'll be coming out on the Crazy Or Live Like This EP that's out on February 10th, and I'll do breakdowns for both of those when that comes around as well. But for now, subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know if you're enjoying the videos. I'm definitely going to keep doing more. Head over to our Spotify, stream our tracks. There'll be a pre-save link up soon for our EP, so save that too. And yeah, I hope to see you all again soon, and thanks for tuning in.